The following episode is brought to you by Poison City Brewing, proud makers of Durban Poison Cannabis Lager, the beer that invites you to live your poison.
Yo!
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Smiling yourself, dude.
Oh, dudes, I'm doing alright. I love the intro right there with the ukulele.
Cheers.
Hey, sweet. I'm so sorry, guys, for the delay on my end. There were just a couple of issues, but I've tried to work my way around them. Are you guys good though? Otherwise.
Yeah, we're good. We just got some people leaving our house, so I think everyone will join incrementally.
Are you guys having like jawls during a lockdown?
Unofficially, yes.
Fair. Dude, luckily the Cape Winelands has got a lot of wine.
It's the 101. Yeah.
And who am I speaking to today? Like who's part of the band?
So the one sitting on the floor here, this little one, is Lawrence. He's the bassist of the band. Say hi, Lawrence.
Hi, bro.
And then I'm Daniel. I'm the drummer. Then we have Jock, vocalist.
And I'm Andrew.
That's Andrew. And then we have our manager, Arnold.
Oh, wait.
Who you've been talking to mostly.
Nice. It's really cool that we got the whole family there. It's really sick. I'm super excited, guys, to have this conversation with you. Like, you know, when you guys sent through the email, obviously there was quite a lot that was going on and stuff, hence it took quite a while. But I'm super stoked. Like, I saw that you guys had basically released something on the 11th of September 2020. Like, I'm already recording, so I think we may as well just jump straight into that. So basically, my Afrikaans is bad, guys. Like, my mother tongue is Zulu, so I'm gonna attempt this. It's Vir Konteks, right?
Perfect.
Like, what's the meaning behind that? Is that like for context, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, that's exactly
You
it.
got that?
That's so sick. So walk me through that release, guys. I mean, obviously, considering that you guys dropped it in September, it was still 2020. We were still sort of deep into, COVID. Where was your guys' minds at, during the whole process? And why did you guys sort of decide to release it in September 2020, as I say, during the pandemic?
Yeah, so we were fortunate enough that we had this big bank of songs that we had already recorded, and we had one or two that we still needed to record. So our plan, a bit of context, that's going to come up a lot. I think we went public in like 2018, end of 2018. And then we did like 27 shows or something in our first year. And just basically tried to play every bar in the Cape area as many times as possible. Just to like get into the scene and get to know a few people. So we did the whole gig thing for a year and then decided to bring out our first album, our debut album. So we've been working on that for like a good year or so. So our plan for 2020 was to just bring out that album and do singles and music videos and not play a lot of shows. So it actually worked out for us pretty well because we had this album planned for the entire year and then lockdown came and we couldn't play shows. So we had all of these other things planned, like music videos and the singles and the album. So I think it's not because of lockdown that we released it. It's in spite of lockdown and curfew and COVID and all those things. So everything just kind of worked out really well for us.
Yeah. Looking at it from an artist's perspective, though, when it comes to, dropping an album and stuff, and obviously...
Still there, dude?
Yeah, I still am. Sorry. Sorry, it must be...
Like, no, my WhatsApps were coming through and was like, yeah, let me mute this thing.
Oh, shit.
Mute this thing. And obviously, you've been muted. Okay.
Oh,
cool.
shit. Nah, it's cool. What I was basically gonna ask, because I got all the things that you were saying there, and from an artist's perspective, considering that you guys, it wasn't really in the plans to sort of do gigs for this. It was mainly just release the album, do music videos and all that there. Would you guys say that kind of push has been a success for you guys? Have you seen sort of like a good return in numbers when it comes to the release of the album, despite not being able to go out and physically push it like in person and stuff?
Yeah, I think it was quite interesting because everything changed to a digital realm with not playing shows, not being physically there with your fans. So just doing the traditional PR route and finding your feet in the new space of releasing music, I think it turned out quite well. We saw a massive spike in our streams. Some singles are still on popular playlists, and how we perceive it, it's doing the rounds, doing the things, and yeah.
Yeah, we did, however, realize like we need to sort of make a bit more digital assets, seeing as we can't really get the word out in person. We sort of need to create some things to give to the people, seeing as we can't be there in person. That has changed things a bit, yeah.
So what exactly would you say that change consists of, man? I mean, just looking at being an artist in 2020 and during a pandemic, I'm pretty sure it must have been very different to how everything was before that. So what are some of those changes, bro, that you guys had to make?
Not being there in person, so definitely not connecting to those fans. You know, you get the trooper fans that you meet at shows, and that sort of definitely resonate with the music.
You miss the high from being on stage. It's like a whole different type of vibe. As soon as you step on stage, you can feed off the energy of the people there. So I think you miss that quite a lot, like live shows.
Yeah.
We had this big plan for 2020. It was all kind of set out already because we didn't want to do it all just like, oh, let's see what happens. No, because everybody does that and it never works out. So we had a big idea to do it very planned, and we kind of stuck to that plan. Despite lockdown, I think, as you said, like I think we did better because of lockdown, because we focused so much more on visual content and the type of stuff we brought out. I think our most successful one was for our single, The Happy Song.
Yeah.
I think we went a bit more creative with that one than just simply bringing out a song. We decided to do a more personal angle, and because the song is about mothers, it's about GBV. So, well, not to fully extent, but it involves GBV. Yeah. And we decided to take that angle and talk about our mothers and the women in our lives. And I wouldn't say it wouldn't have had the same impacts if it wasn't lockdown, but I think we did take note of people being on their phones more, being on the internet, and especially for a song like that, which would not have the same effect live, because it's a very slow song and it's a heartwarming song.
Arnold's also very creative with like engaging people online, so that helped us a lot. Like he's always coming up with new creative ideas that we can use to, like, because you want to, I want to communicate with people. That's what music is kind of not what I do it for, but it's a part of it. And Arnold has kind of helped us find a way to take that onto a platform online a bit more, like make it a bit more personal and those type of stuff, because people like real, man.
It's not just about the music, it's about the brands, but what do you bring for the people? I mean, cool, when it comes to the songs, it's an aspect of it, and that's a very important aspect of it, don't get me wrong, but you need to get to it and then keep them there.
Yeah.
I also think we were kind of lucky that we had all the stuff planned, because I think we had a little bit of an advantage compared to some of the other musicians. Fortunately, we all have full-time jobs, so we could still earn a salary mostly, and continue with our daily lives, even during COVID and lockdown and all those things. So the band has always been this kind of side project thing for us, that we can still live our normal lives, but then also bring out this music. And I think for a lot of big artists, that was a big issue, because they didn't have gigs to like bring in the money. So we could still like spend a bit of money on music videos and doing more online content, and we did a live stream show or two. So yeah, I think we were really fortunate that we had the opportunity and privilege to actually still spend money on this thing and get it out there, and I think go a bit more personal as well, because like Arnold said, the whole Happy Song angle that we took was to like go back home and introspect and look at your parents and your mother specifically. Just makes it more personal, and then you can kind of stand out and connect with your audience whereas you would usually stand on a stage in front of them and converse with them. So that's a very long way to answer your question.
No, but it's very beautiful. Like, do your guys' mothers, like, have they listened to the song? Like, what is their thoughts on the actual song?
They're probably our biggest fans.
Yeah, there's a bunch of mama's voice.
Yeah.
Oh no, the first time I played it for my mom, I know she burst out into tears. Yeah, I think all of our mothers appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, my mom's a teacher, and that's the song that she plays in the class for the kids the whole day. Well, pre-COVID, obviously, pre-COVID. So yeah, no, definitely big support from that side.
Yeah, no, that's really beautiful, guys. And obviously, you guys did release a single, basically, Mind My Afrikaans again. It's die ruimte vader. Is that correct? Yeah, dudes. By the time we end this episode, my Afrikaans is gonna be like A class, bro. But sick. So basically, like, why did you guys pick that song to be, the lead single? Because I mean, you did send through the radio edits as well, and you basically had a big push behind that track. So why that track in particular?
Oh, okay. To start off with, it had a beautiful beginning as we played it at a friend of ours' wedding with him for his bride. And they actually just visited us like a few minutes ago, which is quite funny. And from there, it just became like a very, like, I guess we're very sentimental because it became a very personal song for us. And it started out as like a love song, but turned more into like a mental health song as things happen in life and we go through different experiences. The way we think about things changes. And so same happened with the song, basically. The meaning of the song changed for us and just really stood out in that part of our life in that specific time. Yeah,
I think also from my side as the manager, I'm not writing the songs, I'm not playing any of the songs. But the first time I heard that song, I just knew, and I think the band also knew, like, it was a song that, this is something big. Like, it's something else. It's not the usual sound, I want to say. It's a bit more ballady and love songy, which the band thought I was a punk band. And the song was just too special. And we all knew it. So a lot of work went into that specific song. I think there's like 10 different editions. Like
we went back and forth versions, that one.
Actually, it's like
from each version to try and think about each recording of the song, how long that song took.
Yeah, I think Ruimte Vader is probably it is definitely our biggest song in terms of production and effort and time spent on it. But it's also one of the first ones of the album that we kind of decided was going to be on the album. And we spent a lot of time working on that. And we eventually, when we fell in love with the song for the first time, we really put a lot of effort into it. And the Ruimte Vader, the direct translation is the astronaut. And you'll notice throughout our album artwork for all the singles, it's very much like space themed. Some planets featuring and that kind of thing. So Ruimte Vader from the beginning was kind of the thing that summed up the album for us the most, which is probably why we decided to lead single it. I don't think it was the plan from the start to lead it.
It was almost the name of the album.
Yeah, the album would have been called Ruimte Vader.
Yeah, so Ruimte Vader is definitely one of our biggest songs. It's one of our more diverse songs. So we just chose to go with that one because it made the most sense for us.
And I really like how you actually mention, the production there in terms of, you guys put in a lot of efforts into that one in terms of production. The overall album, guys, like who was sort of behind, the overall production of that there? Is it sort of like different people or like who did you guys get to do that for you? Because it's actually a really pleasing, like it's really nice to listen to.
A few years ago, we came across this guy called Joe Ellis in Ladysmith in the Klein Karoo. And we were like, but it's quite far and like it's a bit of a mission to get there. And who's this guy really? And then we started going a bit deeper, like looking out for
affordable rates.
Yeah, so we found out that he was Willem Belsain's producer, has been for the last infinite years. And also Black Pistol got nominated for a SAMA last year, I think. So Joe, we came across Joe through like various connections, and then we just pulled the trigger and went there in 2018. And since then, it's just been this amazing relationship. We go there for a weekend, just chill at his house, hang with his family, record 2 or 3 songs, and it's this amazing breakaway from the city life. Because usually when you record a song and you're not a full-time musician, you would like drive into Cape Town and go record a track, and then at 5 p.m. drive back home, and you're like stressing about traffic and worrying about when I need to go home, and you're rushing. But with Joe, you're kind of stuck in the Karoo for 3 days, so you don't have much of a choice but to focus on the music. So we've got this amazing relationship with Joe. He is our 6th band member. But I think for Ruimtevader specifically, we also worked with Dion van Heerden. There was a metal band called Strident way back in Cape Town, I think, and he was their guitarist, and he did the orchestrations for Ruimtevader. So all of the orchestra arrangements Dion did for us, which is also a really good friend of Joe's, which is how we met him. Yeah, Joe did all of the recording, mixing, mastering, production on all of our music thus far. And I say he's our 6th band member, but I really mean it. I think we spent a lot of time on working on demos and writing the music. We actually just finished another demo just before this call. And Joe just takes that product and helps us to like make the best version possible of it. And he's a phenomenal guitarist as well.
Oh yeah, he's got such a fine ear for music.
He's amazing, and he makes the sexiest backing vocals ever. So we really could not do this without Joe Ellis. So go check him out, Joe Ellis producer on Instagram and Facebook. I think he's really the best man ever. I'm in love with that guy.
Yeah, and he always sort of gives back. Like, it's not just going there. Like, we go there with a demo that sort of just has the basic layout, and then Joe just colors it in, and it sort of teaches us on the way as well. So yes,
we've learned something.
Joe,
not only musically, but like he's a person you can learn a lot about, like spiritually or about yourself. Mentally, stuff like that. And he's like one of the best storytellers you'll ever meet in life.
I mean, to give you an idea, like he sits and meditates with his horses in the morning. So I guess that paints a picture of like this guy just sitting in the middle of the Karoo producing amazing tracks.
He's a Karoo cowboy.
Yeah, but that's an incredible story actually of how that sort of came together with him in production, and wow, that's incredible. And the fact that you guys sort of, like you guys were saying, in terms of you guys knew that the track was sort of destined to do quite well. And considering the fact that it ended up on one of the Apple Music's playlists, I think it's Alternative Afrikaans, that is incredible. Like, how did that feel when you guys woke up one day and it was just like, whoa, it's playlisted on Apple Music? That's incredible.
I think it's been coming a long time. So when we dropped our first music in December of 2018, we were like a brand new band. We had literally we did not have a Facebook page or anything. We kind of released our music and went public on socials and everything on the same day. And like 3 weeks later, Middle Class Middleman was also on Apple Music's, or on one of the Spotify playlists.
Afrikaans Pop Hits.
Afrikaans Pop Hits was the playlist. With Ruimtevader, we weren't too surprised. It doesn't sound very humble, but
we were very happy.
We were super, let's just put it that way. We're super glad that we're getting the recognition, and there are some phenomenal musicians on those playlists. So we're really, really glad and fortunate to be on there alongside the greats.
And I think that's also like guiding our sound. Like we're sort of seeing what works. I mean, obviously the Afrikaans market is an interesting one.
Yeah.
I think
that's one way to put this.
So sort of seeing that, originally we started as like a full punk band and sort of it sort of is pivoting us as well. But I think as well, we all are obviously growing older and growing more mature, and I think steering a bit away from the pop punk vibe.
But still staying diverse.
But nonetheless, I mean, the songs obviously featuring on the playlists tend to be a lot more acoustic, a lot more laid back, accessible for the average,
100%.
the general Afrikaner. So that is definitely guiding our sound as well, and sort of letting us take a step back and making a bit more chill tunes.
You know, the one thing that I always appreciate when it comes to, you know, just artists in general is people who really appreciate and don't sort of neglect the artistic side more as in like, you know, the artwork. Like you guys were mentioning just now, you know, that the astronauts is and space and everything like that is sort of the constant when it comes to the artwork that you guys have for some of those singles and even for the album as a whole. Now, I noticed there that when it comes to the album artwork, it was done by, I think it's Nana Fenter. So how did you guys get in touch with her? How did that come about? And who sort of brainstormed this idea and got it together?
Well, I think the whole space theme, I think as we mentioned earlier, we had the single Vir Konteks, and we all kind of felt that's the song. Like that's the big thing, and it all kind of fits in with that idea, space, exploring different worlds, different, like cool, it can be the same planet, but different people experience it a different way, or there are different worlds within the same solar system, and that's kind of what people are like. So I think we all kind of stuck with the space idea quite fast. I don't think that was a very...
And I think because we, like I mentioned earlier, the album's name would have been Vir Konteks until like the very last minute. So yeah, we definitely dig the space name.
And then when it came to Nana Fenter, so we're quite good friends with her brother. Actually, he used to be our housemate. We lived with him. And their other brother is in Fokov Polisikar. He's the drummer. So we've always known her, we've loved her, and we've always loved her art. And we felt she was too expensive because she has a doctorate in artwork. So we never asked her in the beginning. And then she also designed the band's logo, the band's first EP and the second EP's artwork. And she was quite offended when we got someone else to design a t-shirt, because we didn't ask her because we felt she was too expensive. But no, she loves Kontras, and we decided to go back to her after contacting several other people. We went back to her. We kind of gave a very clear idea of what we wanted. We knew from the beginning it all had to be cohesive, like it all has to make sense, has to be the same thing. This is a big project, and we fucking love the results. I mean, it's so cool. She also told us, listen, this isn't art. This isn't the style I usually do. So we also took a risk because she does comic style usually. And she said, you know what? I want to do more. It was collage art, realistic, all slapped together. And we took a chance, and she also took a chance.
It's incredible, like the astronaut there. You got the different, like it's very colorful as well. There's the eye there. Tell me about the eye. What's behind that there?
So one of those images that you're seeing is actually one of the singles. So we released 4 singles for the album. So the eye is the Mors Jou Drank song, which
Spill Your Drink
translates to spill your drink song. So that's exceptionally punk. Daniel hates the song because it makes him work out so much.
It is the most difficult song to play on the drums. Like I literally despise that track.
But that song's album art.
You can see in the background as well, like all of our eyes and stuff. It's off to like partying and stuff. Photos of us.
Yeah, but it's incredible. It really, like you can see that it was done by someone who's actually like good at what they do. Like when I basically gave the album a listen, obviously, like as I said, to me it was sort of something very new, because I like the most experience that I've had when it comes to listening to Afrikaans music is the 3 months that I got to work at a music store a couple of years back, and it used to be like on the charts. Yeah, and there used to be like, in actual fact, that's where I learned that, you know, the Afrikaans music is actually one of the best selling genres in South Africa, because, you know, they were always like number one, and it's incredible. And it's incredible. So like one of the tracks that stood out to me was track 10. It was Gemir, if I'm not mistaken. And tell me a bit more about that one there. That one really just, you know, it's I saw the name and I'm like, what is this about? You know, say, well, what is it about?
So me and some of my friends, we usually get together and we play some Dungeons and Dragons. It's quite dope. And we used to have bats in the garage, so it really created an atmosphere. But anyway, like we always went on these epic quests as one does when you D&D, and basically I just thought, like, what if I wrote a song about these missions, and it just felt so right. It's like this big hypey song. It's like gee meer, which basically like give more, but you can't because you're empty. Like no more resources, no more mana, no more. And that
the
also
is too low.
And it's kind of culminated with like life as well, like where you get pushed, or you sometimes push yourself to that point of just giving more than what you can. Really fun song for us as well.
And definitely my favorite to play.
And them triplets,
I think Vir is one of my favorite songs, unironically. But it's a lot of fun to play, and we did some cool like rhythmic things on it. Lawrence and I, we spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out some nice like interesting things we can do between the drums and the bass, some accents and things. So it's one of our more interesting songs, I think, musically. It's the general 4-chord power chord rock song, but we managed to spice it up a bit, and a lot of fun to track and to play.
I can also add to it, I also felt like the album needed a more heavier song, a more punchy song, because there was the more punky songs, and there's a song on there, I think it's a song afterwards, Fin Paradise, which is an older Kontras song. It's quite heavy, it's quite slow and dark, and I think Andrew can also attest to this. The band really wanted a fun, heavy song that you would jam and people would mosh and just break the fucking walls while also not being a stupid song, like it means something. It's fantastic, and Gee meer is that.
Ons het mos altyd meer as wat ons bereid is om te gee. Ek hoor kinders skree in pyn terwyl hulle wag in die hospitaallyn. Verwagtinge is te veel. Ek hoor iemand wat die las kan deel. Ek voel die angstigheid in my keel, en al wat ek wil doen is skree. Gee meer, gee alles wat my kop beseer. Gee meer, maar my siel is leer. Gee meer, gee alles wat my kop beseer. Gee meer, maar my siel is leer.
All right, sick. So, to anyone who's been tuning into this, I'm with Kontras, and we basically just spent the first half talking about the album, which is insane, actually, guys, because I don't think we've ever dissected an album, and we haven't really spoken about all the tracks even. So I think this just speaks volumes in terms of the quality of work that you guys have, and the kind of quality that you guys are working on, which sort of brings me to the kind of band that you guys are. And obviously you did mention that you started out in 2018, and you did obviously also mention the punk vibes that you guys used to have in the band. Why did you guys sort of transition? Because in your bio you guys even say you're like a rock band. So why did you guys sort of change from being a punk band to more of a rock band?
When we started writing music, we were leaning towards the more punky, more fun side, more fun to play, more fun to dance to and party to. And we brought out side A and side B, which had quite a few like more fun tracks. Kopstamp I would kind of include in that. Skitrembo of Fascisme, Dola Neer. And then we also, on those same EPs, we also had tracks like Middelklas Middelman, which is our like country rock ballad vibe. And the reception that our heavier music and our ballad music gained was so much bigger than the punky side. So I think we naturally decided to just focus a bit more on the ballads and the rock, like the heavier rock stuff. And in focusing on that, we came up with some really cool songs. Happy Song, Ruimtevader, which is like 2 really big ballads. And then on the other side, you have Gee meer and Chemikalie and Fin Paradise, which is like the super heavy songs. And I think all of our music tastes just kind of blend perfectly in this Venn diagram. We've got this terrible running joke in the band where everything is a contrast, which is contrast, obviously. So we've got this big split between our are super soft and like flowy music or ballads, and are really punchy and heavy tracks. And we enjoy playing both genres equally as much. And I think rock just sums all of that up so well. Those tracks are really gaining a lot of good feedback and getting played on all the playlists and stuff.
I really like how the name, ties into to that, actually, the whole rock, two sides to it and all that. And I don't suppose that you guys just woke up one day and were like, okay, guys, it's going to be Kontras. You guys must have gone through a lot of names.
We actually had when we started out, Andrew and myself, we used to live together in what is known as Anyways, and basically we had a little book there and we were writing names down, and it was some really cringy stuff like Kinders van Judas, which means like children of Judas.
It's like, no, dude, what the fuck?
And then there was this one name that was just written a bit bigger. I think I did it either subconsciously or consciously, just a bit bigger and a bit more bold. And it was Kontras. And like since the beginning, the whole ideology, or the whole idea behind the ideology, was to have it be like a contrast in our music and all of that. So it kind of just fitted, but it got to a point where it got a bit overused and irritating. So we tried to not say that too much.
but I think Kontras also, like, it really depicts how the contrast between our music and our personalities. No two of us in the band are alike. We all bring something completely different to the table, and we've also have songs like the Happy Song, which like is a kind of sweet song, but it has some really dark lyrics to it at times. So we'd like to play around with that kind of thing, do like super punky songs with super dark lyrics, or other way around. Yeah. So unironically, we really like the band name because that it just summarizes our vibe and us as people really well.
Yeah, I think the name Kontras, it's a perfect name because it's quite ironic because no one is just black and white, because it's more about, even though that's the band name, that's the logo, that's everything it's standing on, it's no one actually is that. We're all more in between. It's the gray. You can like metal, but you can also like slow ballads. That's the whole thing. It's a contrast. Yeah. No one is just one thing. You're more than one thing. You're like 3 or 4 things. And I think
breaking the mold.
Yeah, you're breaking the mold. And I think especially when it comes to rock and roll, people tend to think, oh, you call yourself a metalhead? What's how dare you listen to Britney? Yeah, like how dare you listen to anything else that's not metal? And fuck that.
I think also one of our earliest songs that Jock wrote was Paraffin Paradise, which is the 11th track on the album. And the entire song, without getting too political, is about the country and about politics and politicians, and everything just kind of fucking burns to the ground. And the kind of the hook of the song is ons almal is 'n kontras, and the syllables of kontras is kantreis, directly translated. So we also like we don't like to get too political, but
that's what white people the kantreis.
So we kind of want to play on that and depict the better side of that. So songs like Soto Mahara, which is like tells this beautiful, like super vivid story of a fisherman going out to sea every morning. And yeah, so we really, I think the name just suits us so well in so many ways.
I like how it's tied, how you guys link it back to your person, you guys, as individuals as well, and that you've got different tastes and all that there. What would you guys say Kontras has sort of taught you guys since its inception in 2018? What has it sort of taught each of you about the bandmates and the people that you're working with?
Embrace the contrast.
Yeah.
Just because you're on the one side, just because you're on the other side, find a medium. Even though I'm probably the worst person to say that, I will get into your throat about it if I disagree with you. But it's still fine if you disagree. It's one thing if people are different and embrace differences. Yeah.
I think also when we met each other, Andrew and I met each other at On Plus, which is our favorite like dive bar.
Watering spot.
Watering hole. And we sit there and hung out for like 4 hours just talking about music and the South African music scene.
Andrew woke me 2 o'clock in the morning. Find us a drummer.
And I think we all just like formed this insane brotherhood between the 5 of us. The most unlikely brothers. Where we've come from like all 4 corners of life. So I think one of the biggest things that Kontras and our music and our community and our fans taught me is that it's kind of okay to not be okay. Like there are other people around you that share the same sentiment, or you have some things in common with some people. So go and find those people and like make those unofficial family connections.
I think that's the perfect summary, guys. That sums it up really perfectly, actually. And if you're looking at, for someone like myself who's out in Durban, and obviously I just want to refer to a lot of the things that come up, when you have some guests, that come through, like some of the bands that are from Durban would complain and be like, oh shit, did I just cut off? Fuck.
Talking about Durban.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, so in Durban, you'll find that a lot of artists will come through and then, we start talking about the scene and what the scene is like here. And obviously they start complaining about how there's a lack of venues and all of that shit. I want to know what things are like in Cape Town, as a band that formed in 2018. What is the music scene like there for a band? Like, is it sustainable to be in a band in Cape Town? What are the vibes?
As we mentioned, like,
if you have like 5 side hustles, it's possible.
I think in Cape Town, if you're a band like Kontras, which does Afrikaans, firstly, which people don't do here. I think even in Stellenbosch we have Spoegwolf, we have Jebels, we have Fokhoff, we have Fransje van Kirk, everyone here. They don't do a lot of shows here because it's not a massive market. And then you have a new band like Kontras, and it goes against anything that any stat says you should do in this industry. And yet Kontras did it, and it's working. And I think that's the kind of punk elements that's still stuck around, even though it's not always there in the full sound. It's still there in spirit. Like, fuck you, or sneak at that in your school.
I think there are so many alternative gigs in the Western Cape specifically, like the entire southern suburbs of Cape Town, and a big part of Stellenbosch as well, where you used to have venues like Mercury in Cape Town as well, they closed down, but you've got all these amazing venues like Bohemia and Kontras where people just kind of build their own community. And I don't think I actually think we have a really good music scene. I don't think it's sustainable as a career, like even without COVID. And I think I mentioned earlier, luckily we all have full-time jobs, so we can manage not to play a lot of gigs. But I think it is possible to have a career in music in the Western Cape at least, but it's really not easy. It takes so much hard work.
Also, it's ever evolving.
Yeah, like
it's changing.
Yeah.
If I look at 10 years ago and I look at now, the scene is changing. People are going to different types of gigs. Obviously now there's no gigs. But I think, as I mentioned earlier, if you hustle, you can do it. Even as a band like Kontras, which makes Afrikaans punk music in the beginning, which not a lot of people are two separate factors that people don't necessarily go to. And it's been working so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how have you guys managed to make, Kontras such a success, considering that you guys have to sort of juggle it together with the day job the day jobs that you guys have? It's sort of not like the only priority. You guys have other things that are going on. So even just for anyone who's wanting to start a band and they find themselves in a similar situation, like what's the secret that you guys have in making the band, as rad as it is?
Yeah, I guess it's sort of like an outlet for us. Like that's sort of, it's like today we started for this year, like actually demoing again. And it's just a fun time to chill and sort of do some fun things. And one of those is music. So it is actually, instead of more effort, it actually releases some of the tension of the week and is actually a way to bring some chill to life. And as a result, we get some cool tunes as well. That's quite nice.
Yeah, hard work and passion, attention to detail, These things, focus on the right, like in key moments, and just like we're a good support structure for each other as well, or we try to be most of the time. And basically, like that kind of makes it easier, I guess, to do it. And I think that is a big part of success. Is like not only being with people that are necessarily good at their craft, but that are good people to be around as well, which makes it easier to make something successful. Just in my mind, like I've worked for some really nice companies, but then the people you work with aren't that nice, and so it doesn't work out that successful. I guess it's also a big part of it.
Yeah, I think the people really make a difference. I think every band has the internal conflict and politics inside of the band, where one guy doesn't like the other guy or is sleeping with his sister or some shit. I think we're all like really, really good friends. And like I mentioned earlier, brothers. So
not sleep. Not sleep goes a long way.
So, we really enjoy hanging out and writing music and just jamming and figuring out some cool stuff and experiencing life and going on a road trip to the Kalahari in fucking middle of nowhere, shooting a music video, playing shows, going to Ladysmith for a week every few months and just having a holiday together. So I think it's probably the easiest part of our lives to do the band thing.
To quote Big Z from Surf's Up is no joy, man, fail. And if you don't enjoy what you do, then you're probably going to fail at it. So
you know the very interesting part about chatting to you guys is that one gets to sort of enter the world of like an Afrikaans band, especially for a genre. You guys are doing a rock, and this Afrikaans band, and it's something that is not really accessible, as easily accessible as say maybe like hip hop or whatever other genres there are in South Africa that are sort of in the mainstream. With you guys, I want to get your opinion on something. Just looking at back when MKar was a thing, and I remember seeing.
Hitting a chord there, bro. Yes, continue.
Yeah, so back when that was a thing, I used to notice that there were even like a lot of Afrikaans programs on there. Like one was called Ondergrond, and they had like the Afrikaans metal bands playing on there. They had a lot of the bands that are big now. Got a lot of airplay and a lot of like playtime on that channel and stuff. Do you guys rate, like, how do you guys rate the scene currently for an Afrikaans alternative or rock band compared to what it was back when MKar was pretty prominent in SA? Like, are we in a better place now? Are we worse off now? What are your guys' views on that?
Oh, dude, such a loaded question. I think back then when you had a platform that had a ready-made fan base for you there, consuming your music on TV and really wanted to be interacting, and the social game was also picking up, so it was this different realm. And you had shows and tours, and I remember the MKar era also had a lot of school shows and school tours. So your mediums and paradigms to work in the music industry was completely different than it is right now, I would say, for specifically an Afrikaans rock band. And now you don't have that, but your fan base also changed. I mean, the consumption of music changed completely between the traditional, maybe going to music and buying a CD. Now we're going to stream everything. Maybe watch your favorite music video on TV. Now you just go to YouTube. So everything changes. And I think a scene like Afrikaans music, which is so broad, I mean, like from the commercial pop to the more alternative side of things, is ever changing the whole time. And it's a weird symbiotic relationship that goes on between the alternative and the pop, let's say. And in between, like, it's like still kind of feeling each other out and figuring out like who's what and what's what, because at the end of the day we do all share the same fan base, but it's just an interesting spectrum to be a part of, to get your music out there compared to what it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And
I think to add on to that, it's more difficult to be seen by everyone, but it's also way easier to get your shit out there.
Very true.
So it's this. Yes, more people are going to see it, but more people consume it every single day. And I think that translates to the whole industry. I just think the whole MKar thing, my personal opinion, not the band's opinion, I will say that disclaimer. MKar would not have Sank if people supported it enough.
For sure.
So obviously people...
I think that is our opinion.
like people didn't support it enough, so it sank. And it comes down to the artists and the fans. There's never a single culprit. It's the same argument with, it's the promoter's job or the venue's job or the band's job to promote a gig. Fuck you, it's everyone's job. Like, just, it's collective. And I think when it comes to MK, it's the same thing. Like, it's not, yes, it's sad it's gone, but there are other platforms, and it's the same thing. You can't call yourself a model if your whole industry is dependent on Instagram's features. Yes, you're good at what you do, but it's not just your platform. If you're actually good at what you're doing, it will translate into other platforms.
But I think we came across so many fans and some of our really close friends that really enjoy our music because it makes them feel like sentimental about the MK era.
I think obviously we can't deny that Foko Politica had a massive impact on who Kontras is. 100%. There's no denying that fact. And I think what they did and all the bands from that era, they started something amongst the Afrikaans people. You don't have to be this racist, Calvinistic, old school shit. You can be something else and it's fine. But I think that kind of died down for like a minute as soon as all these big artists came about. And I think there's a new spark coming up, as in it's fine to be rebellious against all of that, despite everything. Like, you don't need to be like that.
There's actually quite a few bands coming up now. Like I don't want to say we were the first, but I think we were one of the earlier adopters of this kind of genre or vibe. And there's bands like Blaumoord and Oeselig and like so many other, even Lat Patrollie to an extent. They're kind of outside our genre, but it's still these like new Afrikaans rockers basically. So there's some really cool bands that are starting up now and our peers basically. So we're really fortunate to be like in part of this new kind of movement thing.
Work until your idols become your peers.
Exactly.
I mean, we've been fortunate enough to work with some of the biggest names, but 10 years ago, these artists have been big, like the Francois and the Straatligkinders and the Jack Barrows, and Kontras is known amongst these people. Like, it's, again, work until your idols become your peers. And I think that's good.
Like some of our best friends are like Calvinistic and like that. It's like we're not throwing shade at that lifestyle at all. It's just like that's not the only way.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Kontras.
So basically, like if you guys had to have a choice, if you guys could be Kontras, if you had to pick, would you rather be Kontras in 2021, or would you rather be Kontras back when MK was like massive? So 2021 without MK, back in the day when MK was a thing.
It's super easy to say the MK phase or 2006 was a better time, but I'm super happy with where we are. I think it's nice to be something else again, because the MK thing was surprisingly mainstream in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So
everyone tuned in to punk rock music. It was the Avril Lavignes and the Blink-182s and the Green Days.
Yeah.
It was easy to do.
We had mohawks and we had
I also think
three-quarter pants.
If it wasn't for those times, Kontras wouldn't exist at the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Kontras now, if I look at the songs, the bands from back then,
we're inspired by them.
They didn't tackle themes that Kontras tackles now. And like mental health especially, they alluded to it. Oh, my kop is bietjie seer. Fuck that. Like, let's do a whole album on You're Fucked.
No, I think we are super fortunate and privileged to have the support we have now and have gained the support. But yeah,
So yeah, 2021 is better.
2021 probably.
Also with the knowledge that MK will eventually tank and sort of, that wouldn't make sense to sort of be back in those days. But I think as well, like carving our own path, like sort
don't
of
feel you're being left out of a scene, create your own scene.
There we go.
Wow, that's a really nice point. Like, I really like you guys, the way that you guys view things. It's really incredible. It's inspiring and motivating. Yeah, you guys have something really good going here. I just want to touch on, we're almost at the end, and I want to touch on a big point that you guys mentioned, and that you got a new demo and you guys are working on new music. When can we expect to basically hear that as Kontras fans?
No.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't have mentioned that. No, I think we haven't made any plans yet. We're just writing music and making stuff for our back pocket for when we want to bring out new music. We've got some other things planned. Watch this space.
That we don't like to say.
But yeah, we don't have any concrete plans right now. I think we took a nice break over the December times. And over the holidays, and just got to be normal again and live our lives. So now we're slowly getting back into the band things and the Kontras things, putting a bit more energy into the Vir Konteks PR. Maybe going to push a new single or two from the album, but nothing set in stone yet. So we're just taking in the scenery as we go along, making some new music.
As we know, like we know ourselves, we'll probably go visit Joe.
We'll definitely be heading to Ladysmith sometime soon.
Just some new stuff.
But yeah, so nothing concrete yet. We're still working on it. So.
Yeah, I think we also just took a step back and realized, well, we're not going to be playing gigs. So, you know, all the effort of just standard rehearsal, like, you know, those times would have happened anyway. So let's take those rehearsal times every week and rather make some new tunes and actually
grow up ourselves.
Yeah. We also recently so we've always been rehearsing in the garage of the house where most of the guys live. And a few months ago, we kind of just revamped the place, put in like carpets in the garage, which was quite strange and super late.
Now it's a studio, not a garage.
So now we're not a garage band, we're a studio band.
No smoking
anymore. So we put a lot of effort and energy and some money into just getting the vibe good again and having this friction or like low friction safe space where we can write music and just jam and have fun and come up with some cool new shit.
Yeah, that's incredible, bro. And probably the final question for me, I'm going to steal this from one of our co-hosts who's not here today. Her name is Megan. And basically what I want to find out from you guys is sort of more of your idols or people that you admire and artists. Like if you guys had to build the ultimate lineup and Kontras is the headliner, you know, give me 3 bands that you guys want to play along with.
Can we just take an avontuur lineup?
Well, I guess a Foko. Police card would be there. Like, it's like definitely been a big influence on us.
Let's each of us say the name of a band we like. I want to go first.
Fuck yeah. What else we got?
Working on dogs.
Oh, I could have gone on that one as well. FL was also. Yes, I guess like all of these historic Afrikaans pop punk bands.
I would probably also throw like something like Deals and Bastards.
That's also
it's very different in sound.
Yeah, but I guess all the MK days headliners, hey, like I think those definitely.
Big Wolf, I will throw in there because I do feel Kontras does have a similarity to Spook Wolf. Plus, Spook Wolf is our hometown band as well, the other band here. And they're poops big.
It's doing very well, but it's also like hard work. Right?
Yeah,
they hustle.
It didn't happen overnight. It's a lot of work.
That's incredible. Yeah, you guys answered that perfectly. And obviously, since we are at the end, I want you guys to just, you know, tell your fans anything you've been wanting to tell them. This is your opportunity to basically say your last words to anyone who's listening and people who have been following Kontras and showing support. You know, what do you guys want to say to those people?
Book merch.
Buy the merch. Basically just support music as much as you can. Support musicians now more than ever. I'd love obviously support us as well, but there's like a lot of musician friends of ours like they make a living off this. I'm just like
support your local bands. Wear your fucking mask.
Yeah.
So we can just stay home and get over COVID, and then we can play gigs again, and people can get back to their lives.
Be lekker.
If you want festivals and live shows again, wear your fucking mask.
Stay home. Stop looking for loopholes. Just Jesus. It's not that hard.
And it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Reach out to your close homies.
Phone your friend.
Be honest with your friends.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, guys. Are there any shout outs that you guys want to give before we head out?
So before we do the next podcast episode on Joe Ellis, definitely a shout out to Joe Ellis. We couldn't have done it without him. Nana Venter for the artwork, Igu Brandt for the Velden music video, Dion van Heerden for the orchestrations on Name to Father. page photos who did our press photos, which are fucking insane. Love those pics. They've been like my WhatsApp profile pic since we got them.
So sick.
And yeah, that's pretty much everyone. And yeah, just shout out to all the fans that keep listening to our music and posting stories and taking part on our competitions on the socials. And
shout out for you for being an awesome host, man.
Thanks so much, dude. You were fantastic host.
Solid questions, dude.
Some really difficult questions.
Thank you guys so much. Like, I really appreciate it. I was actually telling the guys before I jumped into this that it was going to be like a culture shock, because it was like, whoa, like, you know, but you guys made it so chill though. Like, you guys are so cool. I appreciate this. Like, this was really awesome. I enjoyed chatting to you guys.
And if we're ever in your valley and booze is legal again, we'll definitely grab a drink together.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, guys, I mean, socials, where do people get in touch with you guys if they want to connect, listen to the music everywhere? This is your chance.
So we are obviously on on the music platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Jukes, everything will see what you can think about.
TikTok music.
We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram stories, wherever. You can follow us on Instagram at Kontras Band, and similarly on Facebook at Kontras Band. We also have a website, www.kontrasband.com, which has like all our music videos and lyrics and all the fun stuff that people always ask for. So please stop asking, just go look at the website.
Planning to put on some
And yeah, so check us out online. We post some fun stuff on our stories and make some cool, engaging content every now and then. We also had a contest recently, like yesterday, gave away some merch. So go give us a follow and you could potentially win some stuff. But also just follow, because we're cool people.
Sick. That was perfect, guys. So basically in closing, we have to close out one of your tracks. Give me your favorite track in the album that we can play out with.
Who are you going to ask?
That's a very controversial opinion.
Ruimtevader?
Yeah, we can go Ruimtevader.
Ruimtevader is
The whole thing about it.
Yeah, we probably need to. Yeah, Ruimtevader.
But
The OG version, the extended version.
If you can play the extended version, the 6-minute one, that'll be solid. Yeah.
Alright, sick, guys. We're gonna be playing out with that one. And obviously, to anyone who's tuning in, the episode is available on Spotify. We are Sludge Underground Podcast on Apple Podcasts. We are Sludge Underground Podcast. Facebook at Sludge Underground. Instagram at Sludge Underground, and Twitter at Sludge Earthy1. As for myself, it's at Zwane Earthy1. Guys, this has been really incredible. Thank you for joining me this evening for this interview. And yeah, to anyone who's listening as well, do enjoy. We've got some Kontras. And until next time, it's bye for now.
Ek's nietig en klein en wens ek kon meer wees. In die heelal waar ek bly, wil ek net jou wees. Ontelbare sterre en sterrestelsels. Ek kyk na die maan en sien al die letsels. Ek sweef deur die ruimte en vaar oor Orion. Sonder 'n kompas, ver van die mensdom. Vergeet van jou hartseer, jou pyn en jou smart. Ken jy die krag van die menslike hart? Oh, kom sweef, 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 sweef saam met my. Maak toe jou oor, die dag is verby. Vergeet van jou smarte, jou hartseer en pyn. En kom sweef, 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 sweef saam met my.